welcome to the first episode of Out and About. My name is Vanessa Victor and I will be your host for the duration of the show. We kick it off today with Sarah Marquez. Sarah Marquez is a painter, a conservationist, and did a beautiful exhibit on Kitulo, which is also known as the Serengeti of flowers. Kitulo is a very protected national park near Mbeya that is home to many different plants and animals. Sarah Marquez tells us why she specifically chose to paint the particular species in her exhibit.
So I'm going to start with this picture, which is one of the first pictures that I did as part of this exhibition. And one of the reasons I chose this one is one of the orchids that is in danger because there's an illegal trade in orchids that are getting smuggled out of the country. So this is not only a beautiful flower, but it's also a little bit in danger.
Sarah talks to us on how long it took to complete the orchids painting.
I think altogether probably about 2 weeks, starting with the small one, which is a couple of days, and then the bigger one. I kind of work on different paintings at the same time, so I kind of do a couple of hours on this one, another one, so altogether, a few days, yeah.
The exhibition, which is only based on rare and endangered species.
So this butterfly is only found in Kitulo, so for me I just find that quite amazing. Like in the whole world, this is the only place that you find this species.
Marquez explains the collaborative efforts with the WCS, where she, through her art form, was able to present Kitulo's beauty for those who might have never gotten the opportunity to see it. This
drawing is based on a photograph that I got from them, because much as I'd love to spend a lot of time in Kitulo, I couldn't. So some of the research materials I got from Wildlife Conservation Society.
The Rungwe viper is also an endangered species in Kitulo, but there is more to why she picked it for this exhibit.
This one, I think probably snakes are something that you either really love or hate, but again, I always want to include artwork in an exhibition that sort of challenges or is not necessarily just a pretty picture.
Welcome back to Out and About. We've been through some of your paintings. I must say they're beautiful. I know this is not the wide variety of every different aspect of art that you do. So please tell us what inspired this particular exhibit.
So for me, I thought it was a beautiful place, but also I'm always trying to spread awareness of things that I think are important and the kind of lesser known, lesser appreciated places. So that's the kind of inspiration for this.
I'm one of the people who don't know about Kitulo. I know this Mbeya, but I don't know that there was such a beautiful place with endangered species. You were showing me the butterfly that is only found in Tanzania, only in Kitulo. Yeah. That's amazing.
So with this exhibition, I've basically worked with Wildlife Conservation Society, who have done a lot of work in that area. In fact, they helped get Kitulo gazetted as a national park. Okay. So for example, that butterfly, they kind of helped me with a photo of it and kind of information about which are the most endangered species, which is why I chose to do a picture of that one.
Have you ever been to Kitulo?
Yeah, I've been there twice.
When?
I went in Easter last year, and actually I spent New Year there this year.
Oh, what's the weather like?
Well, the plateau is about between sort of 2,600, 3,000 metres, so it's quite high up.
Yeah.
So coming from Dar, it's cold, to be honest.
Wasn't it like a refreshing...
It was lovely, but I camped up there both times, so in the middle of the night the temperature really goes down. So I basically slept in my woolly hat.
You almost forgot that you were in Tanzania for a second.
Completely. I know some people say Kitulo is a bit like the Scottish Highlands. So it's kind of in the afternoon you get clouds coming from Lake Malawi or Lake Nyasa. So sometimes you get rain in the afternoon, but then it's quite moody and atmospheric and cold.
What inspired you to become an artist?
I'm not really sure. I think it was just something that I always did. Now I'm so old I can't really remember, but when I was little, I was always drawing, or I was trying to invent colours and other crazy things, so it's just always been something I've done.
Is there anyone else in your family that drew or draws?
Yeah, my mum used to love drawing, and she was also really into plants, actually. And then on my dad's side, his either grandfather or great-grandfather was a painter. So yeah, I think I've got kind of artistic genes somewhere along the line.
From both ways.
Yeah.
What was one of your biggest challenges in this exhibit? Like,
Ooh. I think the challenge, this may sound a bit obscure, but is the belief in what I'm doing. Because for me, I really love doing artwork, but then there's moments where you just wonder what on earth you're doing. Are you just this crazy Mzungu kind of ranting about obscure places? So it's quite easy sometimes to then doubt what you're doing and you think, oh, I should just get a proper job, with a paycheck. But
you wouldn't do that?
No, I wouldn't.
So how do you get past the insecurities?
Well, I'm really lucky in that people are very supportive. So, for example, in this context, again, the people from WCS, Tim Davenport in particular, was very supportive. Because I think, like in conservation, there's a lot of people doing research and doing amazing grassroots work. So for them to have someone like me that can maybe kind of help spread awareness is good. So they're very supportive. And with the work I've done about Dar, I get emails from all over the world from people that are kind of interested in Tanzania and the history and the culture. So that kind of keeps me going.
This could sound a bit cliche, but you're sort of a modern day, I would say, Robin Hood, because you focus on what the historical culture of things or the importance of things, whether it's environmental or it's in terms of our history. Because I've watched your previous work and you could tell us more about it, like street
level.
Yeah, like street level.
Yeah. Well, I'll take that as a huge compliment. Robin Hood is a complete hero. But yeah, I think in the context of Dar es Salaam, when I first moved here, I realised a lot of the old buildings are getting knocked down. And as a kind of traveller, and I love street culture and architecture, I just first started wanting to document it, because I'm not from here and I know the politics and the economics are very complex. So for me also it's quite easy just to come in and say, oh, but this is beautiful, let's talk about whether it's important, whether it should be saved. So yeah, that's always my interest, and also the more obscure things. I mean, people always tell me I should do a book about Zanzibar, and I love Zanzibar. Stone Town is amazing, but it's the one of the places in Tanzania that already has a lot of attention. So I'd rather focus on the more obscure. Yeah, exactly.
So what other projects are you working on or considering taking on?
Well, I'm slowly working on sea level, which will follow up to street level. So it will be another book, hopefully. So basically it's a body of work documenting coastal Tanzania. So it will be about the architecture and culture and history of places like Bagamoyo, Pangani, Lindi, Mtwara. Because I think, with all these stories about a new port in Bagamoyo and Mtwara with the gas, I think all these places are changing very quickly. So again, it's time for me to kind of get there and start documenting.
Yes, I understand that. Yeah. Do you work with any charity organizations?
I try to. I mean, I've done various bits of work. I've done a little bit of work with Sea Sense, which is a marine conservation NGO. Again, helping them with sort of educational materials and artwork and design. I did some work with Mabinti, which is a project affiliated with CCBRT that works with women with fistula. What else? Nema Crafts in Iringa, which is a disabled project.
Apart from Dar es Salaam, only because you live here, is your favorite city?
I actually really like Tanga. I mean, it's always hard to choose, but I think Tanga for me, I love the sea, and also it's got some amazing old architecture and still a very friendly atmosphere, but quite diverse. I think
calls out to your artistic soul, I guess.
Yeah, I think.
How does that feel for you to be able to inspire people to maybe later on have their own exhibits of their own?
It's great, to be honest. I find it quite terrifying, but also fabulous, because for me, obviously it takes a lot of time to create the work and I'm in my own little world. And you sort of come out into the world and think, is this all some crazy obsession of a mad artist? But then, like you say, when you have kids that are identifying either with the aesthetics or the reason behind it, then it kind of makes it real and worthwhile.
Yes.
So yeah, it's great. It sort of makes me believe in what I'm doing again.
What techniques do you use when you paint? Do they differ or are they similar?
They're kind of similar. And everything that I've done recently is based on drawing, so it all starts with a pencil and a piece of paper. These paintings are actually a mixture of all sorts of things, so normal house paint and marker pens and acrylic paint and varnish.
House paints as well?
Yeah.
Like which
Just to create the background.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, so it's kind of a mixture, mixed media. Sounds fancy.
Some of the paintings that we've looked at are deceptively simple. They look very simple, but once you look more into, you see the little lines and edges. That was very interesting. Do those take you longer than maybe the butterfly, or?
I think it's kind of hard to quantify because sometimes things go really well. You have a picture in your head or you've planned it and it just goes according to plan. Other times, for whatever reason, you have to kind of start again and start again. So it's kind of a bit arbitrary.
Would you consider yourself a perfectionist?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Out of all the paintings I think we've seen, which one have you, I think, maybe started and stopped and ditched it and started it all over again?
Good question. I think actually the red one that I showed you earlier,
the
big one, yeah.
I think
that was
it because it was very important?
Yeah, but also it was one of the early ones I worked on, so they're always kind of a bit experimental and you never quite know how they're going to turn out, even if you've got this great picture in your head. So with that one I kept on adding new layers, and then the way I work is I put a layer of paint and a layer of varnish. So if you kind of get to the varnish quickly enough, you can rub off a bit of paint, so you can build it up. So that one has gone through quite a few stages.
We've had Sarah Marquez with us today. She's shown us her exhibit, and it focuses on Kitulo, which is an area in Bea that has a lot of endangered species, one of which is a butterfly that is only found in Kitulo from the whole world, not only Tanzania, not Africa, the whole world. Next up, we talk to Hawa Zonou and Bruno Patchworks Hovart. These two have combined forces to create a different sound of music with different fields such as Jamaican, gospel. Let's talk to them and see what they have to tell us about how they got together and how they create the music that they've been creating.
Music producer and a bass player, based in Lyon, France, which is in the middle of the country in France. And I've been working for the last years with a whole band, and Hawa is the singer of this band, and we just had an occasion to come to Tanzania to give 2 shows tonight at Dar es Salaam.
I'm a singer. I studied by gospel in my 20s. And then I met Bruno, and I began to sing with us with soul music and folk and rockabilly and that kind of music. So we're so grateful to be here. It's a great opportunity to be here. We met during one of my concerts in 2008. 2008, yeah. I think that Bruno loved what he heard, and and we met in a concert. So we decided to work together and to found a band to work in my project, my own project, and we work on my first album solo for 1 year.
My Little Green Box?
Yeah,
is
My
that
Little
it?
Green Box.
I've
Yeah.
heard it. Yes.
Jennifer Hawa has gospel skills, which make like when I saw her gig, she was singing with a jazz band in a club in Lyon, and it was just was surprised by the spontaneous skills of singing and making music she had. And then I thought, I'm a producer, I make records and working with artists. And so I told myself, well, she is this spontaneous skills makes me want to work with her and make an album very quickly. And we started writing the songs, and the album was done 6 months after, which is quite quick.
Yeah.
And so we went on stage with a band. It was very quick because we make music which is good when it is spontaneous. We don't have to think too much when we make this music. The more we think, the crappier the music is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm lucky because she's skilled, so we can make things quickly, you know.
Yeah. Did you guys create the band from scratch, or were you in a band already, and you incorporated into the band, or did you start and look for?
We made the album together. I was making the music, roughly all the instruments, and we wrote the songs together. And when the album was done, we went to meet some musicians and told the guitar player, the drummer, told, here are our songs. Do you want to play this live with us? So originally the composition was us two, and then it became a band later, actually.
You said your roots are gospel, and you mentioned soul and a bit of funk, but I listened to some of your songs, like Do It. And I hear a bit of a Jamaican flair in it. Where does that come from?
Well, I listen to a lot of reggae music, raga music, and I love hip hop. So when I sing, maybe my African roots with my accent. Well, I think it's a lot of things, a lot of mix and a lot of mix of music. The flow of hip hop, of reggae music or raga, I like that. So
I'd like to talk about it. I know it's been a while, but the video, the animated video, it was an interesting choice, especially at that time when animation wasn't really that big, especially in music videos. What inspired that?
We met some very interesting people who make videos out of little pieces of paper that they stick and they animate this way. It's a crazy job. It's crazy. It takes ages to do it.
How long did the video take?
I think it's a full time, or something like roughly 3 weeks, full time working on this.
No sleep.
Every single thing is made out of paper. Every single move is another image
that you have
done with it's not video, it's done with pictures stuck together, you know.
Yeah.
And so they proposed us to work on a video for this, and we actually love their work. So, but we didn't. We gave them the opportunity to do it for us, and we didn't participate in the making of it
at all.
At all. Just
wow. Then they got your likeness, really, the hair.
Yeah. I bring us some photos, some videos, and they stop.
You just left it all to them.
Yeah.
But it's a very good video, actually, and it was impressive to watch.
Thank you.
For them and your voice, and you have a beautiful voice, by the way. I haven't mentioned that. Yeah. Okay, you got here 2 days ago. Have you been able to see maybe a bit of Dar es Salaam?
Yes, we did. Quickly.
What stuck out? What did you notice that maybe stuck out at you?
It's big city. We know Africa, but Northwest Africa, and we didn't expect such a big city.
When you're not doing music, what do you prefer doing?
I have to work, and but I like paint. I like to paint. I like fashion.
Who inspired you as an artist?
Aretha Franklin. Her voice. Otis Redding. My father was a DJ in the 70s, and her collection of albums was so great, and well, I listened to jazz, to hip hop with him, to soul music, to
There's
blues,
always music
African
in your
music.
life.
Yeah, my mother loved that kind of music. She's more folk music, like Ricky Lee Jones.
You found the last chance, Texaco. The last chance.
Yeah.
But she liked music very much.
Before you guys met, you had not done an album before.
I worked with another bands, hip hop bands in Lyon. The gospel was important to grow myself to in the music,
Especially since you're still growing
yeah.
as an artist.
Yeah.
She's a skilled singer, but being a skilled singer is something, and being a
not
solo artist
It's something else.
is another thing. And you have to be a good singer, a skilled singer, to be a solo artist. But you could be a good singer and being a back vocalist, you know.
Yes, that's true.
Which she was, or being part of a gospel band, she was. But I, as a producer, I thought, wow, she can be leading a band. She can be the singer. That's the stuff.
You guys work together musically, but are you friends as well?
To make good music, I need a friendship, you know, and it's important to me that we have this bond.
Get along.
Yeah.
If we don't play for 2 months, we need to see each other. You know what I mean? But we spend a lot of time together for the music. And so, I mean, after a week like this touring in Africa, you know what I mean? We will feel the need to tell what we saw and the people we met to our other friends. So spread the message, you know what I mean?
It's a matter. You get back to the airport in France, and you're like, yeah, see you in a few weeks.
Yeah, that's it. But there's no way to do I mean, it's quite a hard job being a musician. There's no way to do this hard job with some people you're not really friends with.
When you guys have been on tour for like a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, what's the one thing that starts grating on your nerves?
There's no problem being a girl, but she's not a boy. There's no problem being a girl, but she's not a boy. I mean, so I know what I'm talking about. You know, I mean, it's different to work with girls, and it's very easy to work with Jennifer as a girl. So you know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's a difference, but it's not a problem.
Okay.
That's what I meant, you know.
I think that maybe sometimes Bruno talks a lot.
So, what's your favorite song out of your album?
The song Another Tree, I think it resumes the album and the emotion that I had to write this album. But it's too hard to choose. No.
Because you poured all of your emotion into the whole
it's me.
album.
So
Yeah. You're a spontaneous performer. So I was hoping you could give us a little bit of a taste of Hawa.
I'm there, just like I'm drowsing, watching from the spring side. All the time I'm wasting to look at for a sign. And when that wind will come out, I'll go to the sea to find a way to get out, to find another tree.
That was beautiful.
Entertainment highlight segment, and on this part of the show we'll be looking at what's happening in Dar, what's happening in Africa, what's happening in the world. So stay with me because that is up next.
In a heart-stopping emotional speech, former Miss Tanzania and established international model Milen Magese launched the Endometriosis Africa Awareness Tanzania at Hovart Regency in Dar es Salaam, aimed at motivating women and youth affected by the disease.
My friend struggled with me in school. She wasn't even aware what was wrong. She probably asked herself, am I pretending? How come I don't feel such pain during my cycle? I was raised that being a woman, you have to be strong. Nobody should know that you are sick. To be patient. I sleep and I get told you are lazy. Nobody knew or understood how much pain I was actually feeling. Commemorating African Day, the Zonou Africa Festival in South Africa had plenty to offer, including our very own Mustafa Hassan Ali, the creator of Swahili Fashion Week, who was invited as a guest designer. The festival was aimed at celebrating Africa's creative industries and cultural heritage. Mustafa Hassan Ali displayed his Viva Africa collection at the fashion show, inspired by different facets of life that bond the strong relationships within Africa. The new switch-on service that allows internet users to have hassle-free non-stop internet by Airtel Tanzania was launched with explosive performances from local artists such as Barnaba and Vanessa Mdee. Three dynamic ladies from East Africa become Swedish company Oriflame's beauty ambassadors. Kenyan TV personality Jamila Mbugua, Ugandan songbird Juliana Kanyomozi, and our very own Lady JD, who also features in Coca-Cola's 2014 World Cup anthem for Africa alongside top African artists, are to be the face of the brand. Oriflame picked these women for their style and approach to the beauty ideal. Our one-to-watch film this week is 22 Jump Street. It hits theaters next week. And if you're in need of a... That's it for us this week. I hope you got to know all about Kitulo and what a beautiful place it is, the Serengeti of flowers, the garden of God. And I hope you also got to know Hawa, Zonou and Bruno Patchworks Hovart, and you love their music as much as I do. And I hope also that you enjoyed the entertainment highlights. And if you have any suggestions, any comments, any criticisms, anything you feel should be on the show, just let me know on the links you see right now to our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter page.